Hello again, everybody. Today we're out here giving the Vanquish 440 a little bit of love. We're going to be doing some general VDI testing on this gold that I also tested on the Simplex. This is all the gold I found in my probably about 6 months of detecting. We have 2 gold rings, a gold bracelet, and my most recent gold find with the Vanquish, this little tiny 14 karat best friend's charm. So let's get right into it. It's not going to be anything crazy. We're going to do some tests on the surface. We're going to swing over it on the surface, see what it reads, and then we're going to bury it just probably maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches deep, just to get a general VDI reading. And maybe later on we'll do some depth tests too to see how deep the Vanquish can hit on these things. But for now, let's jump right into it, shall we? This is a 10 karat ring, another 10 karat ring. This one's smaller. This is an 18 karat gold bangle bracelet. I believe it was maybe a kid's or maybe just a girl with a really small hand and wrist. And then this little guy, of course, the 14 karat little charm. So get back to you here in a second. All right, guys, like I said, we'll be starting out just doing a right on the surface test. We're gonna put this guy down right there. That's the thick 10 karat gold ring. Here's the thin one. We'll put it over here, a little ways away. We got the bangle bracelet. We'll put this right over here. And then we have the little tiny piece of gold. We'll put that right over here. So we'll start with the ring first. Fire the Vanquish up real quick. I wanted to give you guys a little tip too. Park Rat Pat told me about these batteries. These are lithium batteries. He says he uses the 9-volt for his pinpointer, but these things have treated me really well in the Vanquish. They seem to perform super well. So if you need some AA's, they're going to last you a while, and they don't dip in performance either until they're completely dead. So like I said, they've treated me awesome so far. Just wanted to give you a little recommendation. It's the Energizer Ultimate Lithium Battery. All right, let's fire up the Vanquish here, shall we? This is the Vanquish 440. We're gonna try it. I usually hunt in jewelry mode, but let's try it first in relic mode, just because we're curious. We'll do relic mode on the surface first. Let's see if I can even find these things now. All right, here's the small one. See that? Hope you guys can see that okay. It's reading an 8, pretty solid 8. Try to hit it from this angle. Yeah, pretty solid 8 overall. Let's switch it over to jewelry mode. Seems to maybe even hit it a little bit better in jewelry mode. I'm getting like a double tap from it. So yeah, it's landed on 8, pretty solid. Let's go back to relic mode real quick. All right, here's that thicker gold ring here. It's got some ice on it. Now, as you saw, this one was in it has a star shape on the front of it, so I assume because it's an odd shape, it'll be varying a little bit more in number. But I hope you can see that. Overall, that's a pretty solid 14, 15, 13, 14, 15. So right in your nickel range, also potentially in the pull tab range. Maybe a little higher than a nickel actually, huh? All right, here's that gold bangle bracelet. This thing is reading a solid 12. This is in relic mode. I'll go back over them with jewelry mode. So yeah, solid 12, not moving at all. And then for that little tiny piece of gold right here. Okay, that's interesting. It's not even really picking it up in relic mode. Now I saw over at, I think it was Digging Denmark's channel, he uploaded a video a few months back that showed this same test on a little piece of gold, and it wouldn't hit it in relic mode, but as soon as he switched it over to jewelry mode, let's see. Look at that. See how much better it hits the gold in jewelry mode? For that little gold, I don't know what it is, but jewelry mode just kills it with that little gold. So again, as you can see, it's reading a 2-3 When I pulled this thing at the beach, it was reading as a 3-4. I thought for sure it was going to be another piece of aluminum foil. So that was in jewelry mode. Let's go again to relic mode just to show you. Look at that, guys. It's not even picking it up in relic mode. So I'm not sure what the reasoning is behind that, but keep that in mind. If you're hunting for those little pieces of gold, I would say jewelry mode is the way to go. So let's go over to jewelry. Let's go to, where's that thick ring at? Here's a thick ring. Yeah, 14, and then the bangle bracelet is a 12. So you gotta dig those low tones, guys, if you're looking for gold. 14, 15, other ring is an 8, 9, big 14, 15, bangle bracelet is a 12, and then a little piece of gold in jewelry mode is a 3, 4. So guys, if you want those little pieces of jewelry, those little gold earrings, little gold pendants, you got to dig those low numbers. You're going to be battling with a lot of aluminum foil, but if you don't want to miss the gold, you just got to dig it. So we're going to be burying these guys probably, I don't know, a few inches deep, and we'll get right back to you. All right, we're going to dig a little hole for these targets here. Like I said, nothing crazy. This isn't going to be a depth test. This is just going to show you basically how numbers change once they get under the ground. Once the target gets under the ground at depth, the numbers start to change up on you a little bit. With the Vanquish, I found it actually holds ID fairly well at depth. I was testing that mercury dime in one of my previous videos, and that thing was just pretty much locking on to those high numbers, and I think it was probably 6 or 7 inches down there. So let's see if it will repeat with the gold, shall we? We do have a tape measure with us just to get an idea of how deep this hole is going to be. And you know, this isn't quite a real world test, because as we all know, once targets sit in the ground and kind of settle in, it's just not the same as burying a target like this and swinging over it. But like I said, this is just a general test, so let's get right into it, shall we? We're gonna do this guy first right here, the little 10 karat gold ring. She's a beauty. This was my first piece of gold I ever found. I found this with a Garrett Ace 200. Garrett Ace 200. So, you know, you don't need the biggest and baddest metal detector to find stuff. It's really about those numbers and what numbers you choose to dig. So let's do this real quick. That's actually fairly deep in there. 6 inches, should we try it down at 6 inches? This is more like 5 inches right here. All right, so approximately 5 inches down. We're just gonna try the rings flat. That's another thing. If you put a ring, if a ring is in the hole like this, you know, facing upwards, and it's not flat, it's gonna ring differently. So orientation, the type of gold, the size of the gold, there's so many variations that there's no way to say, you know, a 13 is going to be gold or a 12. I feel like gold can fall pretty much in every single number up to, I don't know, maybe 20, maybe higher. I'm not entirely sure. I'm still new to the hobby, and you know, I'm figuring all this stuff out myself, and with help of course from the YouTubers and their tests. So I just wanted to pass on a little bit of this information to you guys, and let's stop talking and get into it, huh? So that guy's in there, like I said, about 5 inches deep. This is not an official depth test. This is just some general testing. We're gonna pack it down in there. Pack it down real nice in there. Maybe even stomp over it. No trickery here, all in one cut, or one scene rather. Move the shovel a little bit further away. Now let's just see. We'll try it out in relic mode first. Let's try it in relic mode just because I'm curious. The relic mode was hitting on the gold ring well, so it should pick it up. Let's see, sensitivity wise, we usually run it just stock. I think it's like 2 or 3 bars down from the top. Now let's swing over it, huh? And looky there, guys. That's a gold, 10 karat gold ring, about 5 inches down in relic mode. And it's slapping it, a solid 8. It is not moving at all. Rotate around the target a little bit there. it's just hitting it really well overall. So let's go to jewelry mode. Jewelry mode's just as good, if not better. Solid 8 all the way around the hole. I saw a 1 in there, but it's an 8 99% of the time. So like I said, you got to dig those low tones, guys. Let's bury the next one, shall we? So that was this little tiny 10 karat gold ring at about 5 inches down. I'd say it did really well. That's up to you to decide, but you know, the numbers stayed solid. It wasn't jumping around too much. So on to the next one. Here's our next gold ring. This one's a lot chunkier, and also it's the shape of this one. You notice this one's pretty much perfect circle. Beep, cut that out. This one's pretty much, you know, a circular object, so it should ring pretty solid overall. This one, on the other hand, you know, it's a little bit of an odd shape, so we'll see how that affects the readings. Put this one down just as deep, about 5 inches down, flat in the hole, bury it up. It's a nice thick iced out one. We'll stomp it down a little bit. There you go. Grab the old Vanquish. Try it in relic mode first. There you go, guys. 14. It's pretty solid under there, actually. It's almost more solid under the ground than it was on top. It's 14 all the way around, guys. That's in relic mode, jewelry mode. Just solid 14. It's not moving. All right, that's definitely a pass. As you see, you got to dig those 14s. You really just got to dig all those low tones, because you just never know what's going to be under there. We'll dig that one up. We'll be on to the bangle bracelet next, and after that we'll try that little tiny piece of gold and see if it can get it down there. I'm actually not sure, because I found that gold on top of the surface, that little pendant, so we'll see. Again, that was that 10 karat gold ring. This one was reading up as a 14, almost just like a pull tab, huh? So gotta dig those low tones, guys. Next, we got the golden bangle bracelet. This one I believe is 18 karat gold. It reads 750 in there. It's marked 750 in there. This one I found out in an old soccer field. It's no longer a soccer field. I got this bad boy with the Simplex. It was reading a 28 on the Simplex. See what it reads underground on the Vanquish, shall we? Might even have to widen this hole a little bit. Should be good. I really don't think this thing's gonna move much. It's such a perfect shape, and I'm actually curious how deep this thing can actually hit gold. So this is a good start to that test, huh? Stick around if you want to see those, guys, because I'll definitely bring those your way. I'll bury these at, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, 10 inches deep and see if the Vanquish can hit them, but that'll be on a later video. So the golden bangle bracelet, looky there. Make sure you can see the VDI readings. Hopefully you can. It's a 12, guys. 12, 13. I'd say pretty much all you guys with the Vanquish would dig that, huh? Would you dig it? You gotta ask yourself that question. So, yep, 12 all the way around. Okay, let's pump the sensitivity way down, see if it can still hit it. Yep. Even like half sensitivity, it can still hit it. Let's go like way down. I'm curious. This is all the way down on the sensitivity bar. Things hitting it way down there. It's pretty impressive. It's not too deep. It's like 5 inches, but still. Sensitivity all the way down, and it's still smacking it like that. Pretty good sign to me, guys. All right, last but not least, we'll pull this thing up and we'll bury that little tiny pendant that we have. All right, guys, that was the golden bangle bracelet. I think it was reading up as a 12, if I do believe. I already forgot. Got a little bit of short-term memory loss going on there, but you guys know. So, and now last but least, will the Vanquish be able to pick this thing up at about 5 to 6 inches deep? This thing is tiny, man. It's a little tiny piece of gold. Take the tape measure, make sure we're still down there. I'd say we're at about 5.5 inches deep. Let's put this little piece of gold way down in there and see if it can get it, guys. I really do not know. It's a little tiny piece of gold. I hope that I'll even be able to find this after the fact. As long as the Vanquish can pick it up, should be no problem, but I'll sift it out if I have to. I'm not losing it. Pat it down a little bit. Get the soil nice and compacted around it. I'm not a big fan of air tests. They will give you a general VDI reading, but I like to test them like this just to see how the numbers change once they're under the ground. We will try it in, well, I don't think relic mode will hit it. Relic mode is giving me a little bit of a weird reading, but I don't think that's anything. Let's go to jewelry mode. This is really the only hope that it's got, because it wasn't reading it in relic mode when it was on the surface. So let's see, guys. Sensitivity 1, 2, 3 bars down from the top. Let's see if it can see it on the ground. Ooh, nope, might be a little bit too deep for it, guys. I mean, that piece of gold was tiny, you have to admit. I wouldn't really expect it to hit it that deep, but let's pump it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Let's go 1 bar down from the top sensitivity wise. Huh? Nah, I don't think it's hitting it, guys. Not something I would dig. Let's go 1 more bar up. Max sensitivity. I think that's just a little bit too deep for the Vanquish there. For at least for a gold that small. That thing was small and real thin, so yeah, not something I would dig. These might just be false readings, because it wouldn't be ringing that high, it'd be ringing low. So all right, well, that basically concludes the test. The Vanquish did pretty good overall, I'd say. This wasn't really a depth test or anything. It was just to see some of the numbers, remind you guys that you just have to dig those low tones, because if not, you're missing these kind of targets. If you're only going for those quarters and dimes and pennies, you know, you're leaving all that other gold in the ground for other people to find. So keep that in mind. Always remember, you got to dig those low tones. Vanquish did super good. I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed these kind of videos, I don't even have to say it. If you didn't, it's fine with me. Tell me, you know, how I can improve the next one. If you didn't quite enjoy this one, let me know how I can make it better for the next time. This one did get a little bit long, so maybe I'll try to, you know, reduce the time spent rambling next time. But yeah, did pretty good, guys. It'll find the gold. Maybe not super deep down when those pieces are real small, but you know, that's what you got those big boy machines for. I'm sure maybe the Minelab gold finder, or you know, some of those higher end machines could probably hit that little piece down there, but 5 inches, 5.5 inches is just a little bit too deep for this guy to hit. So appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for 300 subscribers. You guys are awesome. I would have never imagined I'd be up to that number this soon. I've really only been detecting for probably like 6 months, maybe 7. I got my first detector at a yard sale for $3, so I'm loving this hobby, loving the community. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Treasure Outdoors out.